The Harry Potter universe is no stranger to controversy. From J.K. Rowling's tweets to years of fan discourse, the franchise has always been under a magnifying glass. But now, in the era of reboots and reimaginings, Warner Brothers has taken it a step further, announcing Paapa Essiedu as the new Severus Snape in the upcoming Harry Potter Max original series. And with that, the internet exploded. To many, Snape is sacred. Alan Rickman's performance defined the character for an entire generation. The slow, deliberate voice, the greasy hair, the sharp, sarcastic tone. Snape was always morally gray, yet deeply beloved. So when the announcement dropped that Paapa Essiedu, a black British actor known for I May Destroy You and The Lazarus Project, would take on the role, the reactions were immediate and intense. Some celebrated the casting as a necessary evolution, a step away from the traditionally all-white lineup of the wizarding world. Others cried foul. Accusations flew. This was diversity for the sake of optics. Woke casting, they called it. Another Hollywood rewrite, said others. But let's take a step back and actually look at what this casting means and what it reveals about both the franchise and the industry. First, the facts. Paapa Essiedu is an award-winning actor. He trained at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. He's been nominated for a BAFTA. His performances are widely praised, and he's known for his intensity, charisma, and range. Objectively, he's a capable actor with serious credentials. So the outrage isn't about talent. It's about identity. Snape, as written by Rowling, is described as pale-skinned and greasy-haired. He's from a broken home, he's bullied, and he grows up to become one of the most complex characters in the series. Fans believe these details matter. They argue that changing Snape's race alters the backstory, the visual, even the tone of the character. But does it really? Some say no. They argue that the essence of Snape is pain, betrayal, love, and redemption, things that transcend race. That the actor who can portray emotional depth matters more than the color of his skin. But others argue that in a world where race has real-world implications, you can't just color swap a character without altering meaning, especially when that character is iconic. This isn't the first time Warner Brothers has done this. The Hogwarts Legacy game included characters of different races and gender identities. The Cursed Child play famously cast a black actress as Hermione. And yet, the casting of Essiedu as Snape has struck a different nerve, maybe because Snape isn't a side character. He's central, he's controversial already, and now he's become the face of a larger cultural debate. Let's talk about the woke label. It's a term that gets thrown around too often and usually without definition. In this case, critics say this is performative diversity done not to serve the story, but to score political points. Supporters argue it's about correcting a past imbalance, updating an outdated canon for a modern, more inclusive world. But here's where things get tricky. This isn't just about a casting decision. It's about ownership. Fans grew up with these characters. They feel like these characters belong to them. So when a studio makes a big change, especially one tied to identity politics, it feels like a betrayal, like something personal has been taken away. Especially when many fans still feel burned by Rowling's public controversies and the overall fatigue around reboots. What's interesting is that Essiedu hasn't even spoken about the backlash publicly. He stayed quiet, professional, focused on the work, and that, more than anything, might speak volumes. He's not trying to be your Snape. He's trying to be a Snape. One shaped by a new context, a new generation, and maybe whether fans like it or not, a new ideology. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Does race bending a character actually add value to a reboot like this? Some would argue it adds complexity. Imagine Snape not only navigating trauma and rejection, but also existing as a person of color in a largely white wizarding world. That angle could enrich the story if the writers choose to explore it. But if they ignore it completely, critics will call it shallow tokenism. So it's a double bind. Include race and risk controversy. Exclude race and risk irrelevance. So who is this reboot really for? Hardcore fans? They're skeptical. New viewers? Maybe. Gen Z audiences are used to seeing diverse casts. They expect more from legacy media. But the danger is that Warner Brothers is trying to please everyone and may end up pleasing no one. At the heart of this debate is a deeper question. Who gets to tell stories? Who gets to reinterpret them? Does culture evolve by preserving icons or by challenging them? And when we talk about diversity, are we genuinely pushing boundaries or are we just checking boxes? There's no easy answer. But one thing is clear. The casting of Paapa Essiedu as Snape is more than a creative decision. It's a cultural flashpoint, a litmus test for where Hollywood is going and how audiences are reacting. Whether the show succeeds or crashes under its own ambition, one thing is certain: the conversation has only just begun.